Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are finally learning that Kevin Feige, as well as Marvel Studios on a whole, apparently they do know that they've messed up. They didn't realise. They messed up. But they do now. Now they know. They understand that their barometer for quality is off. So maybe they're finally waking up to the fact that they've been drinking their own Kool-Aid. But I think this is quite funny for a few reasons, because it goes to show that, they have drunk their own Kool-Aid, and as a result of that, they don't think that they can do any wrong. So Marvel Studios allegedly was shook by negative response to Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. That's right, ladies and gents, they actually thought people were going to love that film. They thought that film was a hit. A smash hit, in fact. And I said this at the time, that they genuinely thought this was going to be massive, because that was their introduction to Kang, the big bad villain of that phase that they were currently in. I think it's phase 5 now, isn't it? I get confused with all these stupid phases. It's very childish. But anyway, you wouldn't have introduced Kang in that movie unless you thought that was going to be a huge hit. You just wouldn't. You wouldn't introduce the big bad villain of a movie you didn't think people were going to see. You wouldn't spend, oh God, I think it was over $250 million on this film. You wouldn't spend that much money on a movie that you didn't think was going to be a hit. But apparently, they genuinely were shocked and concerned and freaking out that people didn't like it. But it goes to show that these people live in a massive tunnel. It's an echo chamber where they can do no wrong. What they create is gold. And that's why you can't trust when they say we're going to pivot, we're going to change. Because unless you shake up the leadership and you get new creatives in there, nothing will change. So let's take a look. Hit subscribe if you're new here. Hope you're having a great Sunday. But Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, as I said, was supposed to kick off Phase 5 in style, introducing Kang the Conqueror and finally revealing the secrets of the quantum realm. In actuality, it just looked like anything that was from outer space. It was bland, it was boring, it was a hodgepodge, and it had awful CGI. It was a crap film. It was absolute garbage. So yeah. Now, while the movie did those things, it did, it did introduce Kang. Cool. Pretty bland, but fine. It did reveal kind of the secrets of the quantum realm. Not really, either. And the quantum realm might as well have been out of space. It might as well have been something that you'd seen in Guardians of the Galaxy. It all looked the same. But basically, terrible ending. Bad movie overall. People didn't like it. People weren't interested in it anyway. And I think it lost money, if I remember rightly. So we know the ending was reshot. I actually revealed this. We revealed this on my podcast way before this was even out. And way before it was confirmed. So that's funny. But yeah, see, the ending was reshot right before the movie arrived in theatres. They were literally reshooting it right up until shoot day, because they can get this stuff out on digital super quick. And in hindsight, entrusting such an important story to a filmmaker who'd previously been tasked with delivering the MCU's light-hearted palate cleansers was a blunder. But this is the thing. No, because the directors just do what they're told. And so do the writers. There's no one has any creative say in Marvel besides the executives. So this is completely wrong as an article. But anyway, MCU, The Reign of Marvel Studios, is a new book by Joanna Robinson. And she's recently been doing the rounds, obviously, to promote this book. And she was on the Watch podcast and shared some inside information on how Marvel Studios responded to the negative, critical, and fan response to Ant-Man's latest adventure. So she said the following. Marvel Studios is aware of what's happening to their brand. Oh, well, good. I mean, how could you possibly not be aware, but good. My understanding, having talked to some people, is that Quantumania really shook them. And I'm sure Secret Invasion shook them further. Because this is the other thing you got to remember, ladies and gents. Quantumania and Secret Invasion are two of the worst reviewed shows and movies out of Marvel Studios, and they released in the same year. So it goes to show, doesn't it? But Quantumania really shook them because they felt like they had something good. How? Because they all internally thought, everyone's going to love this. and this is the point I'm trying to make, right? Can Marvel right their ship? You know, can they set sail to brighter horizons? Yeah, absolutely they can. Not unless you cut out the rot at Marvel, though. There is an internal rot there that, you know, makes decisions like hiring writers for Rick and Morty. Cool. Fantastic. Give it all to Jon Favreau, for God's sake. That guy can make good movies. Good series. Getting writers that are so indoctrinated into their nonsense is not the way to go. So yeah, they can right their ship, but you have to really push it out to, yeah, getting that rot out. They actually thought everyone's going to love this. Christ. And then they put it out and people didn't. And then they were like, oh no, our internal barometer is not attuned to what people want anymore. No, it's not. It hasn't been for a little while. But also people are wise to your shenanigans to get people to watch your films. You must watch Captain Marvel. It's really important. It sets stuff up really important for Endgame. People watch it. No, it doesn't. What? How is Carol down? What? Nothing's important for Endgame with that film. With Quantumania, they were like, we put out a banger. And then that's not how a lot of people felt. No, people hated it. People thought it was garbage. They absolutely thought it was trash. So, yeah, more Marvel freaking out. More Kevin Feige freaking out. Realising that potentially their shit doesn't smell like roses. And they are susceptible to putting out trash and the audience hating them. Which I can see why they would think otherwise, quite frankly. I mean, over the years, they've been able to put out mediocre films and still get $1 billion. But that's part of it as well. People had bought into the premise that you must watch everything because it was setting up a grander plan further down the line. Endgame. And Endgame, I don't know, rightly or wrongly, was the endgame for many people. And maybe that's because they called it Endgame. They were like, it's the end now, it's fine. But also, you phased out a bunch of people that the audiences really liked. So it was their endgame. It was the audience's endgame for a lot of this stuff. But now people have not bought into the grander narrative, because the grander narrative sounds garbage. Kang, cool. Multiverse, cool, whatever. Like, it's not tangible. There's no real threat at the moment. And there's no good individual stories at play. So, yeah, interesting. Marvel freaking out because they thought that they had got up. We put out a banger. In the words of, words of Marvel, apparently. We don't know what people want anymore. No, you don't. And you never will unless you fire a bunch of people within Marvel. Because there's no good hiring people without firing the ones which are above them that will supersede their creative choices. So anyway, love to hear your thoughts. Drop it down below. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.